retain as much as possible our big estate, because we are a capitalist country. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Very well. The Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And Mr. Speaker, let me start by the onset to thank the committee for that report. I only wish they had given even stronger recommendations, because I think if I see one of the things you are putting is that victims should report, but given the nature of the society, victims will not report, especially where they are inferior, superior kind of relationship. So I think maybe you should have put a greater onus on the companies to make sure they have a sexual harassment policy and to make sure that they have systems in place. And also you should have put stronger language against the government. I also wish to thank the BBC for the expose, because it's even though it's very embarrassing that we have a whole government with the legislature, executive and judiciary, and it takes BBC to expose this. That means there is somewhere where there is something that is not operational. Mr. Speaker, if there is one thing that we have done well as a country, it is to legislate. Perhaps we might even be accused of over-legislating, because we have a lot of laws on sexual and gender-based violence. Mr. Speaker, just starting with the Constitution itself, Article 2.5 and 2.6 import international conventions that are protective of women, including the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And Mr. Speaker, if you look at it, even if you look at other laws, the Sexual Offences Act, Counter Trafficking in Persons Act, Victim Protection Act, amongst many others. So we have a plethora of laws that are protective of women. Where we fail is in implementation, and that is actually the role of the executive. It's embarrassing that a lot of women report cases of abuse against them, and no action is taken. Mr. Speaker, before I came into this parliament, most of my work entailed dealing with issues of abuse, but especially against children. And it was embarrassing that you find cases like this, you find sometimes foreigners...
Order, Honorable Millie. The time now being 5. As had been ruled by the Speaker, I now want to ask the Honorable Tindi Mwale to move his motion. Honorable Millie, you will still have your balance of 8 minutes to speak on this particular motion. Honorable Tindi.